Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing good. Welcome back to my channel. This evening I'm going to be talking about Regina Daniel and the husband, Senator Ned Nwoko. It's very sad. I saw what Senator Ned Nwoko posted on his Instagram and Facebook handle, and I read through. After reading, I got to realize that the worst set of people that you can ever come in contact with is selfish people and ungrateful people. To be honestly speaking, what they are doing to Ned Nwoko at this point in time is totally unacceptable. I will call it abuse and abuse of influence. Anyway, it's very sad because if anyone can place you on salary in this hard economy, place you on salary, buy a house for you, provide everything that you need, I mean, that person deserves your respect. And I got to realize that Regina Daniel's family has a big problem. They have very big problem. And like I said before, Rita Daniels, that's Regina Daniel's mom, is the main problem, is the architect of the whole problem that happened here. According to what Ned Nwoko posted, you can see clearly that this lady was actually the one that sold her daughter out to Ned Nwoko at age of 17 years, knowing fully well that this guy have never experienced anything about life, have not explored life. How do you think this marriage will work at the end of the day? So I read through the context of the message, and everything. I got to realize that, to be honestly speaking, Senator Ned Nwoko did not offend in everything. In anything, he did not offend. So I will read out what he posted here, and I will also post it on my channel so that you guys can read through as well. And as well, I will tag a video on this video. When I'm posting this video, I will tag a video there so that you will see what Senator Ned Nwoko posted there of Regina Daniel's brother coming to his house to harass his domestic staff and his children. So first of all, he said this video shows Sammy, Regina Daniel's brother, repeatedly coming to my home and harassing my children and domestic staffs, especially whenever I was not around. His visits were often aggressive and destructive. This is someone I sponsored through his last 2 years at the University of Eboma. I bought his musical instrument, rented and furnished a flat for him in Abuja. In addition to the house that I bought for Regina Daniel in Asaba before our marriage for the use of all of them. I also routinely provided allowances to all the members of the family, including her mother, Rita Daniel. Indeed, in the last 2 years, I have recorded of transferring 125 million naira to her alone. That is Regina Daniel's mom. This woman literally sold her daughter because of money, and she's denying it now, but she sold her daughter for money. These are the kind of mother that this generation is producing that is damaging the society. When Regina started her rehabilitation, there was a clear instruction by the doctor to strictly restrict people, especially her enablers, from having access to her. The therapy was arranged after I noticed troubling changes in her behavior linked to her dependence on certain illegal substance, including going for 48 hours without sleeping and eating every 2 hours. Unfortunately, Sammy, Destiny, some of their siblings, together with a few of their friends, notably Sonia, Uche Montana, among others, constantly defied those instructions. They would come into the house uninvited, sometimes forcing their way in the house, and would bring her the same drug she was being treated for. Instead of helping her recover, they encouraged her addiction and completely frustrated the effort of the doctor and the therapist working with her. It is important to know that Lawrence, Sammy, his girlfriend NK, Destiny, Sonia, and others also took the same drugs as Regina. In fact, Lawrence and Sammy were the ones who first introduced and supplied these drugs to her. They were deeply involved in the habit themselves, and rather than helping her get better, they kept drawing her back into the same destructive lifestyle. I do not drink alcohol nor smoke. In fact, I am a vegetarian, so I found these characters and behaviors reprehensible and totally unacceptable. Just 4 weeks ago, I woke up around 4 a.m. and realized that Regina was in my room, and on the phone she was clearly high, and she knows that I do not want her in my room in that condition. I asked her to go to her room, and she said that, and she told me that Sammy's girlfriend was in her room. I was alarmed and angry because that girl should never have been in my house, let alone around Regina, since she is one of the enablers who constantly bring her these substances she is addicted to. I told Regina that the girl had to leave, and one of my drivers dropped her off. 30 minutes later, Sammy came to my house shouting and demanding that I should come downstairs to face him. He said I had no right to ask his girlfriend to leave my house. He was ranting and threatening wake up everyone, including the children. I eventually went downstairs and had to instruct the security to physically push him out of my house, out of my compound. The level of audacity was shocking. Without the influence of drug, could he have been so bold and disrespectful? This is the kind of children Rita Daniels raised. When I tell you that single mothers, hardly, I can tell you 80% of single mothers can never raise anything better, and you guys are ranting out there. This is the kind of thing Rita Daniels raised as children. Danger in the society. That being said, he said they did not stop there. On several occasions, they verbally assaulted and intimidated the police officers stationed at the house for security. The officers were simply following instruction to restrict access for the sake of Regina's recovery. But Sammy and his group will insult and threaten them. Whenever Regina wanted to go out, I was not around, she would become extremely hostile towards the police and domestic staffs. She would shout, threaten, and use abusive words, insisting that she must leave the house no matter what. There was at least 2 serious incidents where she left home in the evening and did not return until the next day. The first incident, she returned in the morning around 9 a.m. When I asked where she had been all night, she casually said she was at a nightclub. When I questioned why she would stay all night, ignoring my calls and refusing to answer messages, her response was, "You are not my father, so don't ask me where I was." I found out that she was with Cassie, and that Cassie was staying in Regina's house in life camp. Cassie, the chemist and the supplier of the group, I had to go to the camp at 6 p.m. to ask her to leave with her around Regina. The therapy became a joke. On another occasion, on the kid's birthday, to be precise, I returned home with the kids because Regina said she would stay with her Nollywood friends for dinner. She didn't return until 5 p.m. The next day, I took so much nonsense just for the sake of the kids. I also knew that drugs had a lot to do with it. As for her reasons for continuing with drugs, she will always say, just like her mother, that it is a celebrity lifestyle. They will always mention 2 well-known pop stars. Imagine the pain of a husband trying to help his wife recover, only to have the process sabotaged by the siblings and friends. The very people who should have been supporting her healing anyway. This pattern of behavior made it almost impossible for her to recover. Each time progress was made, they will undo it by smuggling in same drugs she was fighting to give up. The entire household lived in tension and fear because of their constant harassment, interference, and disregard of boundaries. It will be interesting to know her reason for the violent behavior in the house. The day that Sammy and other siblings came and attacked my staff and security, taking Regina away after doing a video which they posted and the next day. Why did they do that video? Why did they post it? They simply planned and orchestrated a script all in my absence. Regardless of the fact that my kids were there, they took away many things from my house, including one of my phones, money, and many other items. Everything that happened that day was in my house, in my absence. Nobody was beaten, and nobody could have contemplated that. It is valiantly false to say that I sent talks to beat Regina in another house. The video that went viral was filmed entirely in the front of my house by Regina's sister and her friends. It was a pure Nollywood scenario in front of my property in my absence. Sammy should have a life of his own outside of Regina and pursue his career. When his brother Lawrence went to London a couple of years ago to do his masters, I also offered the same opportunity to Sammy, but he declined and insisted he wanted to stay in Nigeria and pursue his career in music. He has been arrested a few times by the police and the EFCC. He needs a total rehab, otherwise his violent behavior will continue. Well, that's a very long script. To be honestly speaking, I'm sorry guys if you did not understand. Maybe I will post it here, you guys can read it. But to be honestly speaking, Regina Daniel's family, they are, I don't know how to call it, but these are a wayward family. Ned Nwoko involved himself in a very nasty, stinking family. To be honestly speaking, every single thing Ned Nwoko said here is all true. There's no single thing that I would doubt. Ned Nwoko is bigger than that. If you don't, for the matter of fact, those of you that are saying it is using Regina Daniels, listen, you don't know Ned Nwoko. Ned Nwoko is the 4th richest man in Delta State. Ned Nwoko is the 4th richest man in Delta State. Ned Nwoko is a multi-billionaire. You know what they call old money? Ned Nwoko is a multi-billionaire. All this money he's mentioning here, 125 million, this and that, these are change to him. This man is a multi-billionaire, and for the matter of fact, he's a senator, a sitting senator for that matter. So how do you think? I mean, to be honestly speaking, that's why it's very, very important. Single mothers have caused more harm than good. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, and see you guys in the next one.